And we're recording. So, hi, my name is Tequran. Um, Strange to say my own name. I usually don't go by Tequran. I've been going by TJ for a long period of my life, and I guess reconnecting to my name. Still a little uncomfortable, but pushing through it. Um, uh, Today is 420, and I am moderately high. I told myself, I'm gonna just do this. I'm gonna talk from my heart, and I'm not gonna cut nothing out. I'm gonna just flow. So if I pause and I'm quiet and silence, that's me thinking. That's who I am. Um, so yeah, I'm 25, and it's strange. Being 25 is really, really strange when I really think about it now. Cause most of the times when I look in the mirror, I kind of still see that inner kid, and I don't know, being an adult is strange too because I think because I can recognize the inner kid in myself that I kind of look for the inner kid in other people when I meet them or once I get to know people, you know? So, yeah. I don't know, being an adult is really weird. Coming of age is weird. Like, nobody warned me about this shit. Like, so yeah, I knew that I was gonna be moderately high, and that's why I have these glasses on because I don't know, my eyes get a little cuckoo, you know. But yeah, but trying to be organized because my brain kind of just goes wherever it goes, and I have to like keep myself on the track. So I got on my favorite shirt actually, Mind Over Matter. I got it from Banana Republic when I used to work for them back in 2015, 16. Into two, what was it, 14? It might have been 2014 going all the way to 2016. I think I worked there for a minute. That was actually my favorite job. Um, Not saying that I don't like the job that I have now. Very grateful, very humble. Actually, they're actually like a second family to me. And I say that to them often. I think as you get older, you kind of see people for people. And I don't know, I'm sidetracking. Um, so, what does it feel like to be 25? Well, oh, I feel like I covered that already. 25 feels strange. Like, it doesn't feel real. Like, I never saw myself getting this far. Or, I don't know, I guess I couldn't see this far. Not to say getting this far, like to see myself this far in my life. I think just growing up so fast that I don't know, I kind of didn't really, I wasn't living like in the moments. I wasn't living like around at my age. I was always older mentally than what I actually was. So I guess finally technically being 25, I I feel like this is like the okay, your 20s, you get your feet wet, you know, you make a lot of mistakes, you learn, and you grow from them. I feel like at 25, it's kind of like, even though I don't like to put marks on stuff like that, but at 25, it's kind of like, okay, you've been out here in this adult world for some time now, and I guess you should kind of find your footing or your placement on how you move and all that other stuff. So yeah, I don't know, but 25, what does it mean to me? 25 feels like I'm grown. That ass, like, I think mentally I was forced to kind of grow up faster, but not realizing that I wasn't grown. Even though that I felt like I was grown when I was like a teenager. I always say like my teenage years were like my 20s, so I feel like my 20s are like my 30s in a sense. So, yeah, so I guess being 25 means to me being 30. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's all a blur. I feel like once you turn 21, everything up into 30 is kind of just like, oh, you 20 what? You 20? Oh, okay, you in your 20s. You know, people don't really care. Um, I don't know. I guess a little backstory about myself. Um, yeah, like I was saying, I grew up really fast. At the most pivotal point in my life when I think I was growing the most, or when you change the most, basically, like when you're a teenager. So, junior high school up through high school was the really, really tough years for me. And I try to speak my truth without blaming other people for my truth or my life or the way that I grew up. But ultimately, I was a child and I was my parents' responsibility, ultimately. So, growing up from like 11, my childhood was really good. Like, I feel like it was one of those stories where, we had everything. Like, it was just perfect, too perfect in a sense. When I can remember, like, when we moved to the Bronx, we moved to Anderson and Highbridge, and like, we had this 3-bedroom apartment, like, this long hallway. Each one of our rooms was painted. It was just like, it was like a fresh start in a sense. And I don't know, once, I don't know, whenever I think about my childhood, that specific period from like, we moved to the Bronx when I was 7. So, from like, we lived in the Bronx, so like, I was 7 to like 13. So, but from like 7 to 10, those 3 years were kind of almost perfect. Like, I don't know, it was just good memories. Like, when I think about it, that's the best part of my childhood, and it's so far away when I think about it. Like, 7 to 10, you're not really who you're gonna be yet. So, I'm parched. I'm usually quiet, so talking is a lot for me, but pushing through it. Yeah. So from like 7 to 10, whatever, life was really good. Like, my childhood was great. We had everything. Christmas was great. We had, like, it was the ideal, like, child life. Like, you know what I mean? So I think, and I was a quiet kid. Like, I stayed in my room. I did weird stuff. Like, I used to like take like I used to take like things and just like line them up in size, place, order, just random stuff. Like, it was like I was a really strange kid. Like, and I don't think people realize it because I kind of was like forced to come out of my shell faster than I was maybe ready to come out of my shell. And that happened because all 3 of my parents were used substances. And so from like 11, once I turned 11, around that time, or when I say all 3 of my parents, like, so I have a father and my mother, and then my mother's married to my stepfather. But my stepfather's been in my life since I was 3. So that's my father too. So my 3 parents, they struggled, for like 6 years. Well, my mother and my stepfather. My father, his story is probably different, but from what I can remember, most of my life, he battled with substance abuse. Words mean things. Words mean things, guys. Trying to use my words better. But yeah, so I can't really speak on his story too much, but I know from like living with my mother and my stepfather that from 11 to like 17, they were using drugs. And that's all, like, so from going from being a kid that like had everything to like, it was just like the ideal family, and things just being flipped, turned upside down, like, and you like, I don't know, just being like, we had it good. It was like really good when I think about it. So just having that like taken away from you like that, it was like, oh shit. So, I don't know. I probably shouldn't be cursing because I'm gonna post this. So try not to curse. Use your words, Tequran. Use your words. Yeah. It's so weird. Yeah. So just everything happening and flipping upside down, like, I don't think I ever really had time to process anything that was going on. I kind of just had to get up to speed. And my mother's addiction kind of went like it excelled quickly, and this is because I didn't know prior to this trial of her using that she had a whole prior trial to her using before giving birth to me and my sister, well, my older sister, me, and my younger sister. So in between the period of her having my brother and him being like, I don't know, like his childhood, she was using drugs. And then she got pregnant with my sister. She stopped using drugs. And then she had us three. She wasn't using. And then 5 years later, she got pregnant. After, wait, So she had my brother. I have 6 immediate siblings. Like my mother had 6 kids. So the twins, Kevin and Kayvon, my youngest brothers. After she had them, like that's when things started to get crazy. Like, and they were around like 3. I was 11. Like I noticed a change in my mother, and it was just like I didn't know how to understand it as a kid. Like now that I'm older, I kind of see it now. You kind of be like, damn. I should have I could recognize the signs now, but as a kid I couldn't. So it was just like strange. Her behavior was strange. She was moving different. She was moving weird, like, you know. So it was like a shock for all of us, and I don't know. I just felt like I was such a quiet kid that nobody really. I did good. I was a good kid. Like I got good grades. I wasn't in trouble. I wasn't one of those kids. You know what I mean? So nobody really had to worry about me. I was kind of like, I was like the kid, I was like the child that was there but wasn't really there because I was always okay, in a sense. You know what I mean? That's how I think about it now, or that's how I see it now. Like I was kind of just, oh, that's Tequran. Yeah, Tequran over there, Tequran's, you know. Oh yeah, that's just how it was. But yeah, like kind of just started happening. They were using, boom, she was using, he started using. Excuse me. We wound up having to like leave that apartment in the Bronx because they couldn't pay the rent or whatever because he stopped working. There was a lot going on. Like everything was like, we was like going down. We was like here and everything was just like, oh, you thought you had that? No. Oh, you look, nope. Psych. So boom, we wound up moving back to Harlem to my stepfather's mother's house. She had just passed away. So we wound up moving into her apartment, and we kind of just stepped back into the birthplace of my mother's addiction. And my mother and my stepfather are from the same neighborhood. I think my stepfather's from Harlem. He might be from the Bronx. I don't remember. But his mother lived in Harlem. His mother and my grandmother lived in the same building. I guess that's how my mother and my stepfather met each other. I don't really know the story, but I'm assuming that's how it went. So basically, we wanted to move into her apartment on the 14th floor. We back in, you know, we in Harlem now. We in the projects. We back here, and this is my mother's playground. Like she knows everybody. Everybody knows her. Everybody loves her. From what I know of my mother, is that people love her. Like everybody love her. Everybody know Gina from the hood. Like you know, that's Gina. Gina Rice was good. Like you know, that's her, and I love her for that. But yeah. So we back here, and you know she's running free. And by this time I'm about 14. I was freshman in high school, and you know this is the most pivotal. See, sidetracking, talking too much about. I always do that. Anyway, this is the most pivotal point in my life because now I'm a teenager. But at this point, I've already been like, I started hanging out already. Like I started, excuse me, all this gas. I started hanging out with people because I had to escape what was going on at home. I had to find that feeling of love and comfort again, and I think I just gravitated to people that showed me that, you know, and I went where I thought I was gonna be accepted, or I went where I thought people were most like me, if that makes sense. And I stepped into, you know, the gay scene, like, and my sexuality is a whole nother topic that I'm actually gonna get into. Fuck. F it. I'll just get into it now. My sexuality has never been like something that's been questioned. Nobody in my family has ever made me feel bad about my sexuality. You know, they never made me feel weird about it. It was never a question. It was never a topic of discussion. Like, you know, it was just one of the, like, I don't know. I don't have that story of, oh, my family didn't accept me for being attracted to males. And I say being attracted to males because at 25, I can comfortably identify as bisexual if I had to put a label on myself. And I can say that comfortably now and not be all nervous and shit stuff like I used to be because I didn't understand me. And I think I was trying to understand myself through the world, and I got lost. But once I just took the time to step back and really think about it, I really just understood, like, it's okay, Tequran. You like girls and you like boys. Like, the question that arises after that is, what do you like more? And I always ask myself, what do who do I see myself with at the end of my life? I'm old school, so I don't see myself like running around with, you know, with her and him and her. You know, I don't even have sex. I'm a child of God, born again. What's good? No. But yeah, I don't. So I'm old school. I really see myself just settling down with one person. So I always ask myself that question. And I can't answer that question yet, but that's a constant question that I'm asking myself because I know that's a constant question that comes up with bisexuality is, oh, so if you like both, what do you know, which one do you like more? Do you like boys more? Do you like girls more? And I realized that I like each sex for different things. I'm physically attracted to both. And yeah, sidetrack, I'll come back to that. But yeah, so basically I stepped into the gay scene because I felt like count it, count it up, count it, count it, count it. So yeah, I basically stepped into the gay scene and I realized that I was 13 the first time I went to the village. And if for people that don't know, the village is a place where the gays went to hang out. That was our spot. You know, that was like that was like our Wakanda in a sense, like low key. Like back in the day, that was the place to be in the Ville. Like, what you doing? It's nice summer's day, spring, whatever. We out there. We in the Ville. We about to get bottles. We gonna pour our cups. We gonna roll our blunts. We gonna chill. You know, we gonna have fun. Like, that was our way. Like, we found a space where we could just be ourselves, and I thought that was really cool. Um, I I didn't realize that I was introverted until I kind of stepped into the gay scene because I was just like, I was exposed to so many different facets of people, like, and I realized that we all might have the commonality of being attracted to males, but we all express ourselves differently. And I realized that, like, I was really reserved, like, I was really a quiet person. And I have friends that if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been placed, I wouldn't have met the people that I met to ultimately lead me to the place where I'm at in my life now. But, so I'm thankful for all of that. But yeah, I stepped into the gay scene, and so by the time we moved to Harlem, I was already like hanging out and stuff like that. So I was escaping my reality of my parents, both of my parents being on drugs, and me having to grow up really fast, and you know, just be a figure in my sibling's life of somebody that I don't know. I felt like because I was always people always thought I was okay or I was fine that I I could uphold that. Like, I didn't feel like it felt good to know that people looked to me and saw me as somebody that was okay. Like, you know, that they didn't have to worry about me. And I don't know. I didn't realize it wasn't necessarily a good thing until I got older. So by like 16, 17, at the end of their drug addiction, I was kind of just like, I'm tired. Like, I felt like I had grown up really fast, and I wasn't connected to my family the way that I used to be, because I had kind of just stepped into a world that it kind of existed on its own. You know what I mean? Like that. I don't even like to call it a lifestyle, because it's not a lifestyle. I hear people say it's a lifestyle, but the community is like, we kind of just, we lived in our own space, like, and I didn't realize it until I kind of got older and I stepped out of it. Once I kind of just, I'm just trying to like check where I'm at. Once I realized that the gay community was I kind of just started to, I don't know, I guess as I got older, I kind of started to process things differently. Like my mind started changing, and I realized that I have all of these thoughts in my head, and it has nothing to do with me being attracted to males. And I kind of just, I started deconstructing ideas. And by like 18, I feel like I had kind of just went off the rails. And yeah, I feel like I just went off the rails and I lost myself completely. And by 19, I was lost. Anywho, by 20, even lost her. Lost her. It's not a word, Tequran. Who are you talking to? Myself. I don't know. So I just started to accept myself. I feel like being an adult now, I've just learned acceptance, being able to accept all of me as I come, as I am. And I realized that I had to separate myself from everything that I attached myself to. Everything that I attached myself to try to figure out who I was. And once I did that, I kind of didn't have nothing to, I lost my whole train of thought. I didn't have nothing to grab onto, so I had to look at myself, like, really, like, look at me and be like, okay, but is that you? You know what I mean? I feel like I was, again, I was craving love. Like, I was craving that compassion that I got as a very young kid from my parents, to not getting it throughout like my teens. So I spent most of my life searching for that. And once I stopped, I realized that I had to learn to love myself. So I had a friend tell me that another friend had said to that friend that, oh, Tequran is just looking for somebody to love him. And in that moment, I was mad. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was really mad. Like, how you gonna say that? You supposed to be my friend. Like, how you talking about me? Mad young, naive, and dumb, you know, and my feelings in my bag, or whatever. But as I got older, I processed that, because I was like searching. I was, I was relearning myself. I was healing, and I was learning to love myself again. And with that, I kind of understood what my friend meant. And what he basically meant was that I didn't love myself, and I was going to go wherever somebody showed me love. So once I realized that, I kind of really just like completely detached myself from everybody and everything, because I felt like I had expectations for people that weren't fair to them, and it was all because I didn't know how to love myself. I couldn't look at myself and be like, oh, I love you because you are great, you are smart, you is smart, you is loyal. Now, that ass though, like, I couldn't look at myself, and I couldn't pinpoint. I'm still learning myself to this day, but I couldn't even pinpoint like what I liked about myself. And that's because all I did was please other people, because I wanted people to love me so much. I wanted that I wanted that compassion. I just did what everybody wanted me to do. I was a yes man, like for real. Like I literally just say yes all the time. Like yeah, yes, because I wanted to be accepted. And getting back to the point, see, running around. Once I learned to accept myself and everything that I am, I kind of just that those attachments. I realized that those attachments those attachments weren't necessary, and I kind of just live my life by that now. Like no attachments, no disappointments, and I think it's hard for people that I was so attached to really understand me as an adult versus me as a kid because I was so attached, like, and I'm so detached now. So it's kind of like, what happened? And to tell you the truth, what happened was I found self-love. I found love within me, and I found the light inside myself. I had lost that, and I used to think back, like I used to go to camp as a kid, and people would just gravitate to me, like people just would, I was the guy, I was the go-to guy, like for everything, you know what I mean? And I didn't realize that it's because as a kid, around like at that age, I was like, I had that light in me still. But as I got older, I think this is what becoming an adult is losing that innocence. You know what I mean? That sense of wonder, that sense of, oh, I can imagine, just letting your mind wander and letting it flow and letting it do what it does. I feel like as an adult, we put this rational mind on so fast that we feel like everything has to be rational. I can't think about that. That's not real. That can't happen because blah, blah, blah. Look at this. This is now. This is where I'm at. I have to pay bills. I have to do this to survive. How am I going to, it's like you do that as an adult. And I think that's all being an adult is. I think once you really realize that, you kind of have once you can realize it and not allow it to silence the kid in you, I feel like you found a good balance or whatever. Ranting. Yeah, but with acceptance, once I learned how to love myself, it was more than just me. It was more than me just. It was more than me just saying, "Hey, hey Tequran, I love you." Like that ass, my nigga, I love you. Like I just love you. Like nah, but for real. Once you kind of find that love, you have to now look at yourself and start to pick yourself apart because you have to realize the things that you don't like about yourself, the things that you do like about yourself, the things that you need to work on, the things that aren't changeable. You know what I mean? Because you got to understand some things are personality traits, some things are character traits. I feel like your personality is who you are. You can't change your personality. All you can do is work on your character. And I think once I kind of to do that, I kind of accept all my flaws and understanding me as a person and realizing that I'm not perfect and that me trying to please everybody, that I wasn't really being myself, because if I'm always trying to make sure that I make you feel good in return to make me feel good, you know what I mean? Like when I say like that, I mean like it's a transfer. Now that I'm old, I can understand that it was a transfer of energy. My way of trying to receive love was given that feeling of what I understood to be love, or I guess, yeah, or just, yeah, and yeah, basically me giving that feeling of, that compassion of being nice and being kind, with the hopes of people reciprocating that back to, to ultimately so that I can feel love, because even though that I was projecting love, I wasn't feeling it, and I think that's important too. I feel like that's an important point that you have to like really think about. Like, I feel like we can all give love, but if you don't love yourself, your love is empty, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? And I feel like my love was empty because I was empty. So I can't give anything if I don't have anything inside of me. But yeah, I just learned to accept all my flaws and myself and realizing that my personality is who I am. And I can't, and I have to understand, now that I'm older, I'm getting older, I'm realizing that my character are the things that I live by, the things that, that I can't allow people to change, or I can't allow the way that, I can't allow, I can't react in a way that's outside of my character, because I wouldn't be being true to myself, because I feel like when you act out of character, you have become somebody else. You're not being yourself. And once I understood, now that I understand my character, I feel like nothing can really bring me out of character unless I feel like I want to go there. And if I feel like I want to go there, I'm not going to go there, because I just feel like that's backwards. We don't go backwards. We only go forward, even if it's in a circle. Yo, I'll break that down another day. But yeah. But yeah, you accept yourself, your flaws and all this kind of thing. So yeah, I just learned to accept myself, and with that, I found a peace. I kind of stopped looking for people to accept me or to like me or all this other stuff, because I kind of stripped back everything, and it was just like at my core, I'm a good person, and I feel that when I think about myself. Like, in my core, I know, like, Tequran, you are a really good person. You mean well. You do well. And I think I've lived by that since like 22, 23. 22. I give myself 22, because I feel like after coming back from the military, that was 21. So once I turned 22, it was kind of like, hey, who are you? And I feel like from that moment, I was just like, all right, Tequran, understand you, because in order to do anything else that I want to do, or I want to, attempt to do, I have to know myself. You have to know yourself, like Drake said, know yourself. Like, that ass though. That's really the key, is knowing yourself. Once you know yourself, everything else kind of tends to fall in place. But yeah, and through accepting my flaws, I kind of understood my happiness. Like, I realized that I spent so much of my life sad and angry that I forgot what it felt like to be happy. And it felt weird once I started to find my joy again. I kind of fought it. I still kind of fight with it to this day. I don't even allow myself to be happy for too long. Or not even that. I'm internally happy, so that's forever. But I don't allow myself to bask in my joy of happiness. Just that feeling of like, oh my God, I feel good. Like, you know what I mean? I don't do that too often, because I'm so used to not feeling good that feeling good feels strange. It's an unfamiliar feeling. So yeah, it really is. But where am I at? Say no to drugs, kid. Sport 20, what's goody? Yeah, I understood my happiness, and I was just like, I'm happy because I know for a fact that my life, I've always been really good to people. And I may have done things not directly to people, but I might have done bad things that I'm not proud of, that I have forgiven myself for. That's the next point that I'm going to next. But I have forgiven myself for, but that doesn't take away from the way that I've treated people my whole life. Like, I've always given all of me. Even when I didn't have any of me, I was just giving myself to everybody. And I feel like just understanding that part of me lets me know that, like, you are a good person, Tequran. And no matter what, there's always going to be people that don't like you for no reason. And that has nothing to do with you. You know what when I think of, whenever I feel like there's somebody that I might dislike, because I don't really dislike anybody, I just feel like if we don't click, then we don't click. We're different people. Sometimes energies don't mesh. You know what I mean? And that's okay. That don't mean that you're a bad person. That doesn't mean that I'm a bad person. It just means that our energies just don't mix. Like, you know what I mean? There's going to be people that you meet that are good people, but it's just going to be like, us. I don't know. You know what I mean? It just don't. We not clicking, but that's okay. I can separate it. I can still see the goodness in somebody, even if we might not see eye to eye. You know what I mean? But yeah. Where was I going? Mm, yes, enjoying my happiness. I feel like at 25, I can say that I'm happy, and it's crazy because the other day, not the other day, it was like a week ago, about yeah, about a week ago, I expressed out loud. I expressed verbally, which I've never done. This was the first time I actually did it. I expressed verbally to somebody that I'm actually happy, and the awkward silence that came behind it let me knew it let me know let me know let me know. Don't be ignorant, boy. uh, so strange. um, it let me know that no new no present tense. It let me know that I not I that people that aren't truly happy with themselves aren't gonna want to see you happy. And I feel like people remember me as that young kid, the depressed kid, the sad kid, the quiet kid. You know what I mean? So I guess coming out of that and growing into the adult Tequran, that people aren't used to seeing me happy. So it's something new. They have to relearn me, and that's okay because I'm relearning myself too. It's a process. We can all relearn each other together. That's that's cool too. Um, yeah, but where's it going? Yeah, most people, not most people, but a lot of people aren't gonna want to see you happy if they're not happy with themselves. And what I also realize is that when sometimes when people are used to you being a certain way, your relationship with each other kind of is kind of set in a certain way that if you change, that means that they have to change, and everybody doesn't want to change. You know what I mean? Some people see change as a bad thing. I see change as a good thing. But yeah, I accepted the fact that everybody isn't gonna want to see you happy. Everybody. So I've been trying my best to not appear happy, which is crazy. You know what I mean? And saying this out loud, I know it sounds crazy, but I'm here to be honest. Um, I don't know why I said it like that, but yeah, I am here to be honest. I just feel like I do mask it a little bit, where it's like, people don't want to see you happy. A lot of people don't want to see you happy, especially if they remember you being a certain way. It's like, no, you don't get to change. You don't get to grow. You don't get to evolve as a person because we're all, I don't know. I feel like I'm very aware of what I say and how I say it, and I realize that people do try to pick apart your words. So I try to be as general as possible when I say certain things. But yeah, moving forward. Um, Again, the whole people see you for who you were versus who you are now, and I feel like again people are relearning me. I always say, like, when people have an opinion about me, I always ask, like, when was the last time me and you had a conversation with each other? Like when did me and you actually ever sit down and speak, and and actually express thoughts that are on each other, like that are on our minds. You know what I mean? I feel like I haven't really had a conversation with a lot of people in years. Like, so I spent 22 to presently. I spent a lot of those years by myself. Like, you know what I mean? If I wasn't working, when I was at work, that's the only time I was really around people. Other than that, I would spend most of that time by myself. So I don't get how. So not even I can understand how people can remember me a certain way because that's all they have. That's all they have. I have so much gas. This shit is blowing my. That's all people remember me as. You know what I mean? They they don't know me now, and they're not. I don't fault them for that because I've been disconnected. Like, you know what I mean? I've literally just like, I really tapped out everything. I checked out everything. It was just like, I'm gonna exist as a being. That's what I'm gonna do, and I'm just gonna do that for a minute. and marinate in that and try to understand this, because I feel like being that I was so empty, this is a sidebar, being that I was so empty, all I did was focus on was what I looked like, because I feel like at a certain point in my life, that's all people saw was what I looked like. And I'm not even gonna lie, like, that you know, it was, I don't know, it was a weird attention that I wasn't used to, because I didn't grow up feeling like I was like the it boy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was just one of those, I was the little dark skinned boy with the light skinned siblings. Like, so I never really thought of myself like, oh, you're cute. Even still to this day, I don't even think I'm cute. I really think I'm weird looking when I look at myself. Like, I really think that I'm strange looking. I think that's what makes me good looking, is that I'm weird looking. My features are like, I feel like if I didn't have one of my features, that I would be ugly. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they all kind of work together to make me attractive. But if I didn't have one of them, I don't think I would be as attractive. So, but that's just me as a person. But that doesn't take away from the fact that I love myself. I love myself for who I am, not for what I look like. You know what I mean? I'm grateful for the work that the Lord has done. Don't get me wrong. I'm very grateful. Thank you. I feel like the Lord made me good looking or appealing to people because he knew that I was, or she knew, per se, or it knew. Yeah. Let's not personify it. It knew that I was going to have to work on this. It knew that this was going to be the most difficult thing for me to do in my life, was to mind over matter. So my exterior was given to me, complimentary, that's the word, I guess, as a, hey, life is going to be really hard for you, but you're going to be cute, so it should be a little easier. Your mind will be all messed up, you know what I mean? But you'll have looks to help get you through life a little bit, you know what I mean? That's how I see it. That's how I see looks. I don't really see it as I'm bad, like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm a joint. Like, see, hey, my man, like, look, it's good. Like, shorty want me. Like, nah, I'm not even, I'm not even like that. Like, I really feel like, I don't know. I don't really pay attention to what I look like at this point. Yeah, this leads me to forgiveness. And as I step into this, where we at? 45? I'm gonna go to an hour. So I'm gonna try to pick it up. I'm about to smoke a cig. Where's my lighter? I started smoking cigs at 15. And this is something that I need to let go of ASAP. No, Rocky. Yeah. Forgiveness. I had to forgive myself. I had to forgive myself in order to forgive others. I realized that I held on to a lot of things that wasn't good for me, wasn't healthy, ironically, right? But it wasn't healthy for me to it wasn't healthy for me to be holding on to that stuff. And once I started to forgive myself, I was able to forgive the people that did me wrong a lot of times in my life. And once I forgave them, I was able to just move on with life. Like, and I feel like that happened around like 23, when the forgiveness really kicked in, where it was just like, I forgive everybody. Like, my heart was, the weight was lifted off my shoulders. My heart wasn't heavy anymore. At that point, I feel like that's when I kind of really just stepped into me and more of understanding myself. And that, where am I going? Brain farts. It's the cigarette. That's what it is. You see? This is why I gotta stop smoking. I say that as I smoke, right? Put this shit out so I can finish. But yeah, I learned to move on. I just learned to move forward, and I learned to not hold on to things. I learned to not take anything personal. I read the Four Agreements. It's so much that I'm kind of just skimming through, trying to give you a just idea of who I am, where I'm at, in my present moment, in my present day. I'm gonna continue to vlog. I'm gonna try to do this weekly. I said this last time. I said this a few years back, but I'm really gonna try to do it now. But yeah, this is just the first one, so I'm trying to give you an overview of who I am, so we can step into this, you know, with open arms, because that time coming, all 2018. What's good? Like, with my arms open, like my heart. Yeah. So yeah, you know, I just learned to let go, and I kind of my spirit spoke to me. For real, like the universe really tapped into me when I was like 21, when I turned 21. Right before I was about to go to the Navy, I started singing, and this is how I found my love for music. I know, smoking. It's like, this nigga smoking cigarettes. He talking about singing now. Here we go. Right? I know. You could judge me now. Yeah, but that's serious. I was gonna say, try not to curse. I'm from New York. We curse. Like, that's what we do. Like, curse is just like, it's like, but I'm trying to use my words, because as I get older, I'm understanding that I'm holding you, when you hold other people accountable, you have to hold yourself accountable. So I'm holding myself accountable for what I say and how I say it at all times. Yeah, I let go. I let God. I found in 21, I just, one day I was just like, I don't know, this was after being hospitalized for suicide twice. And I was just like, you know, I had just turned, it was summertime. It was, summer just came. So I was fresh 21. And I don't know, I just was like, I don't know, something just came over me, and I just started singing. And I just felt like in that moment when I sang for the first time, for real, like from my spirit, from my soul, it was just like, yeah, I like this. I like the way that this feels. This is something that I enjoy doing. And for a very long time, I couldn't think about things that I liked. And I found music. Music is one of those things that I really enjoy doing. Like, I really like, it's something, like, it's so strange to even talk about, because I can't think about anything. I like writing. I like, I do. Writing is therapeutic for me, like music is too, but something about music for me is just like, I don't know. It's like out of body experience every time. When I really just go there and I sing, and I'm just like, oh, I'm not here. It's just like my spirit, my soul is like, it's very Ariel, the Little Mermaid. You know, like, I don't know, whatever. Um, yeah, so I found my passion for music, like, and ever since then it was just like, I just listened to that I just listened to my soul, my spirit, and it was just telling me like, Tequran, dude, this is what you're supposed to do. Like, and I couldn't grasp it, because I just felt like I can't sing that well right now. You know what I mean? Maybe I can't do this, but it feels right. I feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. You know how, like, I never had one of those realizations, like, you know how we have those, like, you know, you in school, they ask you, what do you want to do when you want to grow up? What do you want to be? Like, I feel like I can't really remember what I wanted to be. Like, I don't know. I like helping people. So I guess I always lean to stuff like that. And I guess, you know, you listen to people put ideas in your head and stuff that you should do just so, because they see you and it's like, oh, you're this type of person, you might like doing this. So as I got older, like, once I realized, like, I do like to do all of these things, but I love to do music. Like, like, that's something that I feel like is for me. So yeah, I found that. I just found music, and I just been following my spirit. And being here at 25 is just like, again, life is very surreal. Like, I still, sometimes I can't even believe that I'm a person. Like I'm a real life person. Look, Mom, I'm a real boy now. I'm so annoying. Um, yeah, I follow the music, Tequran. Follow the music. Yeah, I just listen to my soul, my spirit, and once I realized like this is what I really want to do, I kind of started. I've been working on my voice and I've been singing. I've been, building my vocals and expanding my range and pushing myself to, limits that pushing myself beyond my own limits. And doing that, I think that stems from me just like once I started telling people what I wanted to do, like, oh, everybody starts, getting to that point in your life, it's like, so what are you going to do with your life? What are you going to do? And once I started telling people like, oh, I want to do music, like, I feel like, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I feel like that's, my career path. Like, and once I started telling people that, like, that's when the doubt is, you realize, like, that people may love you, like they do. I think people genuinely love you. But it's hard for people to acknowledge your dreams when they don't acknowledge their own. I feel like we live in such a world, or just being from the inner city, you kind of get this mindset early on that you can't achieve certain things because of where you're from, and that's not real. I've never thought like that. I've always been able to see beyond my surroundings, my circumstances. Like I realize, I don't know. I just always been that kind of person. So me, when I said that I wanted to pursue music, it was something that felt realistic to me. You know what I mean? I didn't feel like it wasn't something that I couldn't do. I didn't feel like it was something that, I don't know. I felt like I can do it. It wasn't nothing saying like, oh, you can't do that, because it is. I didn't have those thoughts. So when people started putting those thoughts in my head, it kind of just made me feel like I couldn't do it, and that pushed me more. You know what I mean? That ass see, there you go. That was my first dead ass though. That motivated me, like, to just to go harder, like, and to prove to people, but to prove to myself first that I could actually sing. Like, I knew I could hear my voice in my head, and that's what it was. Like, I could hear what I imagined myself sounding like singing. So all I needed to do was be able to project that. And once I found my voice, I kind of just tapped into that, and it was like, oh, this is your sound, Tequran. So you focus on that, you hone in on that, and you explore with that, you experiment with that. And then from there, it was just like range. It was like, so how high can you go? You know what I mean? I want to touch the heavens above. Like, when I be singing, that's what I tell myself, like, that's how high I want to go. Because my speaking voice is so deep that people automatically assume that it's like, oh, you can only sing, above a A4. Like, and it's like, no. First, I can sing above a C5. Once I got to a C5, it was like, oh, I like this note. And from there, it was just like building. And again, it was just like the constant people telling you, you can't do this, you can't do this. Or not even people telling me, because people, I feel like, niggas never told me directly to my face, like, oh, you can't do this, Tequran. It was more like, it's always the underhanded, the backhanded, the little remarks, the indirects and stuff like that, where you just be like, I see it. I see the eye in which you are reflected. Like, and it's okay. Once I got past that, I kind of just realized, like, you can do this. And you might not be popular, but that's okay. Because I feel like being popular is going out of style. And it's time for the real. And I'm real. And I think that's why people gravitate to me. And for either reason, for negative or positive reasons, people gravitate to me because I'm so honest, because I'm so open, and I'm vulnerable at all times. People like that kind of stuff. Like, even if it's like from a bad place or a positive place, because it could be either one. I've learned that now. at 25, I've learned that it can come either way. But I realized that that's what's that's not what separates me, but that's what makes me me. That's what makes Tequran be Tequran, is that I'm not afraid to remove all these ideas of what people think that I am and just be here. Me. Like this. Like, hi, I'm Tequran. And I don't feel like I have to be a certain way, act a certain way, talk a certain way because of the social constructs. And that's going to be my next video. Social constructs. I'm gonna start with that when but yeah, it's just learned myself. I learned myself. I know myself now. And now that I know myself, it's like silence. Yeah, it was like once I knew myself, it was like be quiet, because I spent a lot of my life just talking, and I realized that we're human, so we feed off of each other. So I reacted a lot of times when I was younger, and I realized that that was just me being a human being, like, and a kid too. Like, but now that I'm older, well, I'm getting older, I'm maturing, I realized that silence is golden. When you learn how to be quiet, you kind of really understand your thoughts and why you think the way that you think, and why do you repeatedly have these reoccurring thoughts that come to the front of your mind often. Yeah, but yeah, I'm a stop there. I'm gonna just say my wishes for the world right now is, I wish for people to be more understanding. I feel like we need to educate ourselves. We all have room for improvement. We all have areas in which we're ignorant, and ultimately you can educate yourself. There's so much knowledge out there that if you don't know something, it's like you have this, like, just educate yourself. I feel like we live in a very time of we live in a time where people are just overly opinionated, because everybody's entitled to have an opinion. Like, you know what I mean? Freedom of speech. So that's the time that we live in. And I feel like we also live in a time where people, because of social media, people want to get to know you without actually getting to know you firsthand. Like, they'll people form an opinion of you through a social media account without actually knowing you, without actually having a conversation with you. And I feel like with 2018, I want to have more conversations. I want to talk to people. If you want to talk to me, you can talk to me. You can hit me up. Giving out my social media handle. At Tequran on Instagram. I don't have Facebook right now. I deactivated it, so I'm not on that. I don't use Twitter. I used Twitter when it first came out, and then I fell off of it before it kind of became what it became, and I'm glad I did. But because me on Twitter, whoo, Jesus. Yeah, but you can reach me at Tequran on Instagram. That's TE.QU.RAN. Yeah, hit me up, DM me. I got like 45 followers. Not popular on the net. But yeah, I'm there. I'm open. I'm ready to talk. Yeah, I wanna bring people together, and we have to remember that. Ultimately, we're all human. We're all one, and regardless of our exteriors or our locations of origins, we all are the same. We are all connected, and we have to stay connected. This thing makes us feel like we're connected. In reality, it's disconnecting us. And it's like, how do you say that if you're such a disconnected person? I'm disconnected from social media, which people happen to be connected to. You know what I mean? So social media has become reality, and I actually live in reality. So That's why I'm disconnected from reality. Think about it. Yeah. But that's a thought. Think about it. All jokes aside. But I'm over the minute mark. Over the minute mark. I'm over the hour mark. So I'm going to just try to wrap this up real quick. My EP, my fourth EP is coming. This has been a process of me finding myself, finding my voice, finding what kind of music I want to make, just finding myself as an artist outside of finding myself as a person. I feel like those are two completely different things. And I'm still learning myself as an artist as well as I'm still learning myself as a person. But I feel like this EP, it's called Mod Vinyl. I'm so extra sometimes. I realize, see, little things like that, that's my personality. I can't help stuff like that. That's just who I am. But I try to, like, bring it down sometimes because it can be overbearing for people. I get that. So, but I recognize it. You see, when the first step is admitting it, you know? So, I admit it. That's my personality. I'm extra by nature. I can't help it. But, yeah, so my fourth EP is coming. Recorded, written, produced, and I say produced lightly. I should be like produced by me. Yeah, by my little mic. This should save my life. Right here, this bad boy right here. Every song I've ever recorded, every cover, everything I've ever done vocally, the best investment of my life ever. And I felt like I needed to do this to find my voice, because I had started going to the studio, and once I went to the studio, I realized that I didn't know what I sound like. So hearing my voice, I never heard my voice play back for me, and that's what I needed to do to be able to understand my voice, because I heard it in my head a lot, but I never heard it coming back. You know what I mean? So this right here, this bad boy, game changer. Yeah. So I recorded this EP right here in this room, sitting in this spot with the mic right here, but like this, you know, it's raw, it's not mastered, it's vocals, it's my vocals, it's my pure vocals, and I feel like music needs to get back to that. When you think about music, music made you feel, and right, with all of the technology, which is not a bad thing because we're moving forward, that's the way that the world is going to go. We have to advance in that way for us to advance as a human race. I understand that, but I feel like in all areas, technology does not have to take over. This is an instrument. My voice is an instrument in many different ways, if you know what I mean, if you use it right. Yeah, my voice is an instrument, and our voices are instruments. Everybody's voice is an instrument. And I feel like, well, yeah, but people that sing or rap or artists, if you're an artist that creates music, your voice is instrumental. And I feel like when you go into, I don't want to talk about everybody else, but if you're a singer, I feel like if you sing, like, just sing. You know what I mean? Don't rely on these things to make you sound better, because I feel like that takes away from the feeling of the music. Like, the imperfections in our voices are what made songs so, you know what I mean? Like, when you just heard like I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, music used to make you feel, and that's what I feel like this EP is gonna do. It's gonna make you feel whatever you feel like you need to feel. But I recorded all of these songs in a matter of like a week and a half. At first I did one song and I was like, I'm just gonna put this out, and then I don't know. It was just like, I have more in me. I have to get these songs. I have more songs in me that I need to get out before I can move forward in my artistic process. And because sometimes, you know, you kind of block your creativity when you don't filter it. You got to get it out of you so that you can be able to intake new inspiration and, you know, stuff like that. So I had to get this out of my system. A lot of this is not a lot of it. So it's a mixture of many things. It's me, where I'm at now, how I feel, where I was at before, how I felt before. I'm just giving you like a little. I'm giving you more of me, but in a more creative way, um, more metaphorical, less literal. Just playing on words, using my words, understanding that the English language is very tricky. For real, for real. But yeah, so that's coming soon. I'm almost in the process. I have like one or two more songs to finish mixing, and that should be out by before the summer, for sure, for sure, before the summer. But yeah, so I just wanted to come and give y'all a little bit of me. Um, I realized that because I didn't realize that I was being quiet for so long that I kind of created this weird mystique thing about me that I didn't even know I had. And I felt like I was just like being myself, being my introverted self, just staying to myself. But I realized that with social media, when you don't, when people don't see any, like, people they have to find something about you that they don't like because that's just human nature. And I realized that my mystique or that whole, you know, idea of me being like nobody, people not being able to understand who I am or where I came from. I realized that that stems from me not talking or me hiding from the camera because I really don't like to. I didn't want this to be about what I look like, And that's another reason I got these glasses on because I feel like they make me look like I don't feel cute when I have these on. I feel like you kind of have to look past my looks when I have these on. So, yeah. I didn't want this to be about what I look like. I feel like so much of my life was focused on that stepping into this, it was just like I don't want that. But I'm growing up and I'm understanding myself. I understand myself more, and I'm understanding myself more every day. And I'm realizing that with the things that I want to do in life, I have to be uncomfortable all the time because when I'm uncomfortable, that's when I work the best. So I'm doing things that's gonna make me uncomfortable. And with that, hopefully, I grow. I continue to grow. So yeah, be on the lookout for my fourth EP. Boot Camp was the first one. Turquoise Lavender was the second one. I just put this one out. Say No to the Drugs, man. Boot Camp, Turquoise Lavender, Human, My Vinyl, Taking You Back to the old school, but still modern. Yeah. You can also email me at tequranx@gmail.com. That's tequranx@gmail.com. TEQURANECKS@gmail.com. I'm open for conversations. I'm ready to talk again. I'm here. I'm present. And I'm not hiding. Mind over matter.